Welcome to the debate. When we tackle a dense academic paper or, a 500-page report, reading it is usually like digesting complex nutrients. The friction of chewing and processing the text is what actually lets your brain absorb the knowledge.
Right, yeah.
But Google's NotebookLM, specifically its audio overview feature, has just completely disrupted that. It is essentially an IV drip of pure information. So today we're asking, does this tool represent a genuine paradigm shift that accelerates comprehension, or does it create a dangerous illusion of understanding by fundamentally stripping away nuance?
Yeah.
I see it as a revolutionary comprehension accelerator. I mean, it hit 48 million monthly users because it effectively removes the barrier of information overload.
And I look at that exact same IV drip and I see a structural flaw for deep learning. It offers incredible convenience, absolutely, but at the direct cost of critical analysis and factual integrity.
But the convenience isn't just a shortcut. It's a completely new way to access data mechanically.
How so?
Well, by leveraging Gemini's 1 million token context window, NotebookLM can hold massive volumes of text in its active memory all at once. It synthesizes that data into a really natural-sounding audio discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And research shows 72% of users prefer this format for initial familiarization. It basically gets their foot in the door. With tailored formats like deep dive or critique, they can, map out complex concepts before they dive into the actual text.
See, that 72% figure actually worries me, especially when you look at how this synthesis happens under the hood. The peer-reviewed ACM SIGDoc 2025 paper explicitly characterizes NotebookLM as statistical word compression.
Okay.
It doesn't actually understand the text in a human sense. It's just predicting the next most likely word based on training patterns.
Meaning what? Exactly, for the listener.
Meaning it completely misses context.
Really?
Yeah, if an author writes a blistering critique but uses the word revolutionary sarcastically, the LLM just sees a positive statistical weight. That paper actually documented a terrifying case where the AI completely flipped a core thesis from a critique to an enthusiastic endorsement.
Oh, wow.
Right. And if an archive study confirmed a 13% error rate for this specific tool, then what you're calling initial familiarization is frequently active misinformation. Think about what that means for our listeners.
Well,
If you're a medical student uploading clinical trial data, a 13% hallucination rate isn't an edge case, it's a massive liability.
okay, I'll concede that blind trust in the default output is risky. But doesn't that assume the user is just a passive vessel? Look at the interactive mode launched in December 2024. That entirely changes the dynamic.
Does it, though?
It is not a passive radio broadcast. It is like having a tireless, dedicated study group. You can pause the conversation mid-sentence and interrogate the hosts, forcing active engagement.
The join feature, right?
Exactly. You press join and challenge them to explain their synthesis using only the uploaded sources.
The feature is impressive. I'll give you that. But we have to look at how humans actually behave when handed that level of convenience. Do you remember the viral trend from September 2024?
The vanity podcasts?
Exactly. Users were pasting in their own personal bios to generate flattering, uncritical audio discussions about themselves. The tool predictably drifts toward generic, agreeable commentary, especially in longer 20-minute generations.
Yeah.
Its very design, which optimizes for sounding confident and natural over generating intellectual friction, encourages uncritical consumption, not rigorous interrogation. People aren't using it to argue with the text. They're using it to feel smart without doing the work.
I think that's more of a user behavior issue than a fundamental limit of the tool itself, honestly. If we implement strict source preparation, like ensuring clear heading hierarchies, and use highly specific prompting, NotebookLM effectively conquers the modern crises of information overload.
I hear you.
It's a powerful thinking partner.
I can't get past the underlying architecture. Because of its reliance on statistical word prediction rather than true semantic understanding, it can never replace deep reading for high-stakes analysis. It creates the feeling of learning without the actual substance.
Yet, despite our completely different reads on its utility, I think we both converge on one crucial reality. No artificial intelligence can currently supply critical human judgment.
Exactly right. The human mind has to remain the final arbiter of truth.
And as new features continue to emerge, like the recent deep research mode or the unreleased lecture mode currently in testing,
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
it will. This tension between absolute convenience and rigorous accuracy is only going to deepen. We will leave it to our listeners to decide if they want the IV drip or if those complex nutrients are still worth the friction of chewing.